In a world where the pace of time appears to accelerate with each passing day, and where the constant pressure to consume has become an inescapable part of our daily existence, an alternative path emerges. A way of life known as the slow life. This concept, although seemingly straightforward at first glance, holds a profound power that resonates deeply with those who have witnessed the many changes that decades bring. As we advance in age, the clamoring for more possessions and the unyielding drive for success begin to lose their luster, giving way to a desire for tranquility and deeper meaning. The slow life invites us to pause, to breathe, and to reconsider the relentless pursuit of material wealth in favor of experiences, personal growth, and mindful living. It challenges the societal norm that equates success with accumulation and highlights the truth that genuine happiness is rarely found in the objects we own. Instead, it urges us to reclaim our time, to clear the clutter, both physical and emotional, and to embrace a lifestyle that honors simplicity and mindfulness. For many who have navigated through the rapid currents of modern life, the slow life offers a refreshing alternative, a path that allows for reflection, healing, and the cultivation of inner peace. In this reimagined existence, every moment is valued, and the simple joys of life are celebrated in all their subtle yet significant detail. This introduction sets the stage for a thoughtful exploration of how reevaluating our consumer-driven culture can lead to a richer, more meaningful experience as we grow older, without sacrificing the essence of who we are. With every heartbeat and pause, the slow life reminds us that time is our most precious resource, inviting us to live fully, appreciate and cherish the simple, profound moments that shape our existence. One critical aspect of reevaluating consumerism in our later years is the realization that, as we grow older, material possessions lose the significance they once held in our youth. Throughout our early lives, society instilled in us the belief that accumulating more items equated to success. We were incessantly bombarded with advertisements that clearly conveyed the message: spend more, own more, be more. However, with the wisdom that accompanies years of living, many of us have come to understand that true happiness is not derived from our possessions. The very fabric of modern society is interwoven with consumerism, a system meticulously designed to compel us to spend by insisting that our participation hinges on our willingness to buy the latest gadget, the fanciest car, or the most luxurious vacation. Yet the reality is that such consumption fails to satisfy the deeper needs of our souls. We inhabit a world in which nearly every aspect is monetized, and for those who recall a time when life moved at a gentler pace, this relentless commercialization can feel overwhelming. Fortunately, there is an alternative. We need not continue to race along this path. In fact, we have reached an age where opting out of the consumerist frenzy is not only acceptable, but desirable. Consider the transformative power of clearing out physical clutter as part of a personal journey. Many years ago, I made the difficult decision to downsize, selling a large home to move into a modest, narrow boat. With limited space, I was forced to decide what to keep and what to let go. Initially, it seemed impossible to part with so many accumulated items. Yet, as I began to shed both material and emotional burdens, I experienced an unprecedented sense of freedom. Simplifying my surroundings ultimately simplified my mind. It was transformative. Embracing capitalism with caution involves recognizing that, while I do not oppose the capitalist system, which in many ways functions effectively, we must remain mindful of its inherent pitfalls. Businesses create goods and services that simplify our lives, and in return, they earn a fair profit. If a baker produces a loaf of bread and sells it at a modest markup to cover the cost of production and effort, I am more than willing to pay for that convenience. However, difficulties arise when the balance skews too far and consumption becomes an end in itself. The inherent beauty of capitalism lies in its competitive nature. If one company overprices its product, another is quick to offer a better deal. Yet this same dynamic can ensnare us in a perpetual cycle of acquiring more, as we continually chase the next product, trend, or ephemeral delight. As we mature, we gradually come to the realization that the items we once deemed essential often prove to be superfluous. Life, in its truest form, is not defined by possessing the latest smartphone or the most fashionable attire. Rather, it is composed of the experiences we accumulate, the relationships we nurture, and the moments of quiet reflection that enrich our inner lives. Therefore, while capitalism itself is neither inherently detrimental nor wholly virtuous, it demands that we exercise caution. We must be vigilant against the lure of mindless consumption, ensuring that our purchasing decisions are driven by genuine need and the promise of lasting fulfillment, rather than the fleeting allure of trends and material excess. This balanced approach reminds us that while capitalism fuels innovation and convenience, our well-being must always take precedence over unchecked consumption for lasting fulfillment. Living simply in a complex world means choosing a path that runs counter to the prevailing consumer culture. Most people remain entangled in a relentless cycle of constant activity, perpetually buying and chasing after the next novelty. If you decide to step off that never-ending treadmill, you may find yourself in the minority. However, there is beauty in that uniqueness. When you consciously choose a simpler, less materialistic lifestyle, you begin to experience life in a new light. You start to notice the subtle beauty that often goes overlooked. The gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, the soothing warmth of the sun on your skin, and the quiet moments of reflection that bring a profound sense of peace and contentment. These experiences, which cannot be purchased, offer a depth and richness that far exceed the transient pleasure provided by material goods. Living simply is not about self-deprivation. Rather, it is an intentional act of prioritizing what genuinely brings joy and fulfillment into your life, while letting go of superfluous distractions. It encourages you to slow down, appreciate the present, and focus on the relationships and experiences that truly matter. Although you might initially feel like an outsider, with friends and family possibly questioning your choice to live more minimally, the lasting tranquility and clarity that result from reducing your consumption far outweigh any temporary discomfort. Ultimately, the decision to embrace a simple life, a life that celebrates authenticity and depth over superficial accumulation, is a deliberate step toward achieving greater fulfillment and lasting happiness in a world that often values quantity over quality. By choosing simplicity, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of consumerism, allowing our inner selves to flourish. This conscious decision reorients our priorities, placing genuine experiences and meaningful connections above superficial trends, and create lasting personal growth. As we age, the appreciation for life's smaller details often grows, transforming our understanding of what brings true joy. The grand experiences we once chased with relentless ambition gradually lose their allure, and instead we begin to value the modest, everyday moments. In our youth, we might have overlooked these quiet pleasures. Now, the simple act of sipping a warm cup of tea on a crisp morning, spending time in heartfelt conversation with loved ones, or observing the delicate dance of birds at a feeder, can become treasured memories that enrich our lives. These unassuming moments, often available at no cost, embody the essence of slow living. Once liberated from the overwhelming pull of consumerism, our eyes open to the profound significance of things that cannot be bought. Perhaps you will find yourself drawn to gardening, nurturing your own vegetables or flowers, or rediscovering a long-forgotten book or hobby that once brought you joy. In embracing these humble experiences, you begin to create a life filled with genuine contentment. This shift in perspective teaches us that true happiness is not measured by the scale of our acquisitions, but by the depth of our experiences and the quality of our connections. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. By stripping away the constant distractions of material excess, we create the space necessary to notice, appreciate, and cherish life's subtle gifts. Ultimately, it is this newfound ability to find delight in the little things that paves the way for a richer, more meaningful existence, where each moment holds the potential to become a lasting source of joy. In embracing these modest delights, we learn to celebrate the everyday miracles that subtly transform ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences, reinforcing our commitment to a life of genuine fulfillment with heartfelt, sincere gratitude. Resisting the pull of consumerism is no easy task, for its allure remains potent even after one commits to a slower, simpler way of life. The temptation to indulge in impulsive purchases persists as the seductive power of sales, advertisements, and the instant gratification of acquiring something new often lures us back into old habits. Consider the countless times we have found ourselves casually browsing online shopping sites without a specific need, only to be enticed by attractive deals and the promise of immediate satisfaction. This subtle seduction convinces us that we require items that in reality serve only to momentarily fill a void. However, there is hope. The more we practice resisting these impulses, the more our resolve strengthens. Like any habit, the cycle of mindless spending can be gradually broken. Begin with small steps. Perhaps challenge yourself to refrain from making any unplanned purchases for a single day. Once you have succeeded, extend this period to 2 days, then a week, and eventually even longer. With each incremental success, you will notice a diminishing desire to continuously consume, replaced instead by a growing sense of contentment with what you already possess. This journey toward resisting consumerism is not merely about denying oneself material goods. It is about reclaiming control over our lives and redirecting our focus toward what truly matters. As we persist in this practice, the lure of mindless consumption fades and a lasting inner peace emerges. In doing so, we find that true satisfaction comes not from accumulating more, but from embracing a life of intentional choices and meaningful experiences. Every conscious refusal to succumb to impulsive spending reinforces our inner strength and gradually transforms our mindset, allowing us to cherish the abundance already present in our lives. Filling the void with meaningful activities becomes a natural outcome once we redirect our energy away from relentless purchasing. As we cease to devote so much time and money to acquiring material goods, we begin to realize that both our physical and mental space expands, offering endless possibilities for enrichment. With this newfound space, we are invited to explore a multitude of pursuits that infuse our lives with purpose and joy. Perhaps you might discover the calming art of knitting, take daily walks in the park to reconnect with nature, or spend more quality time with family, sharing cherished stories and passing along the wisdom accumulated over the years. Alternatively, you might finally commit to a long-held passion, whether it be a creative craft, a musical endeavor, or any hobby that you once loved but never had the opportunity to fully embrace. The key is that once the fixation on acquiring things dissipates, you are free to focus on the experiences and actions that truly nourish your soul. These activities, though simple in nature, offer a profound sense of reward that far surpasses the fleeting satisfaction derived from consumption. In this space of intentional living, every choice you make contributes to a richer, more fulfilling life. The beauty of shifting your focus from having to doing lies in its power to transform the way you perceive value, encouraging you to invest in experiences and relationships that build lasting happiness rather than transient pleasure. By embracing a lifestyle that prioritizes meaningful endeavors over the endless pursuit of material possessions, we cultivate a deeper sense of purpose. Every new experience becomes an opportunity to grow, connect, and ultimately create a life rich in satisfaction and heartfelt joy. This deliberate focus on living fully transforms our routine into a celebration of life's treasures. Living a slow, simple life in today's fast-paced world comes with its own set of challenges. When you choose to live differently, you often encounter resistance not only from those around you, but also from your own ingrained beliefs. From an early age, society conditions us to equate success and happiness with material wealth, making it difficult to break free from the notion that owning more leads to a better life. This pervasive narrative of consumption is deliberately promoted because it serves the interests of those in power who benefit from our continuous spending. Consequently, opting out of this system requires courage and a willingness to go against the conventional grain, which can sometimes be an uncomfortable and isolating experience. You may find that friends and family, still caught in the consumerist mindset, fail to understand your choice to embrace a more minimalist lifestyle. Despite these challenges, it is important to remember that the discomfort is only temporary. As you persist on this path of intentional living, you begin to notice a profound shift in your inner world. The relentless pressure to conform to societal expectations gradually diminishes, replaced by a deep sense of peace that arises from living in alignment with your own values. The journey toward a simpler life may be arduous at times, yet the rewards, greater clarity, improved well-being, and a more authentic connection with yourself are immeasurable. Ultimately, the challenges of living differently serve as stepping stones toward a life of genuine fulfillment, reminding us that the true measure of success lies not in material possessions, but in the quality of our experiences and the integrity of our choices. Although the path is fraught with difficulties, every challenge encountered ultimately strengthens our resolve and brings us closer to the authentic life we truly deserve. One of the most significant benefits of embracing a slow life is the financial freedom it affords. When you cease the habit of purchasing unnecessary items, you naturally begin to save money, a resource that can then be allocated toward endeavors that truly enrich your life. Whether it is taking a long-awaited trip to visit family, investing in your health, or simply establishing a financial cushion to provide peace of mind in later years, living simply can markedly reduce the economic pressures that often burden us as we age. Rather than expending energy to uphold a lifestyle steeped in constant consumption, you are empowered to savor the tangible rewards of your hard work. This shift in focus not only liberates you from the cycle of accumulating material goods, but also opens the door to a more deliberate, fulfilling way of life. As you recognize that your well-being does not depend on excessive income or lavish spending, you may find that your needs are far less than what society has conditioned you to believe. The savings you accumulate can then be reinvested in experiences that foster personal growth and long-lasting satisfaction. In essence, financial freedom through simplicity is about making mindful choices that align with your core values and long-term goals. It allows you to break free from the relentless drive for more, replacing it with a conscious decision to prioritize quality over quantity. As you continue on this path, you will likely discover that living with less can indeed lead to living more, a concept that redefines prosperity not in terms of material wealth, but in the richness of life's experiences and the peace that comes from knowing you are truly in control of your financial destiny. Reflecting on life's journey becomes an inevitable and enriching practice as we grow older. With the passage of time, reflection emerges as a natural part of our existence, compelling us to look back on the choices we have made, the experiences we have gathered, and the lessons that have shaped us. Embracing a slow, simple life creates the space necessary for this kind of meaningful introspection. In my own journey, I have come to realize that I hold no regrets for the items I chose not to purchase or the fleeting trends I opted to bypass. What I truly cherish are the moments spent in the company of loved ones, the quiet instances of joy that illuminate ordinary days, and the deep sense of peace that arises from living in alignment with my core values. Although I have made mistakes along the way, each misstep has contributed to a tapestry of experiences that has ultimately led me to a place of profound contentment. The path I have chosen, marked by intentional living and a deliberate rejection of material excess, has bestowed upon me a level of fulfillment that no collection of possessions could ever replicate. Through reflection, I have learned that the true essence of life is not measured by the quantity of our acquisitions, but by the quality of our interactions and the sincerity of our experiences. It is this ongoing process of looking back, learning, and growing that enriches our understanding of who we are and what we truly value. In the end, the journey of life, with all its twists and turns, reveals that genuine happiness is rooted in our relationships, our memories, and our ability to live authentically. As we approach the later stages of life, the contemplation of the legacy we will leave behind becomes increasingly significant. The question is not what material wealth or possessions we accumulate, but rather what values and principles define our lives. For me, leaving a legacy is about embodying simplicity, mindfulness, and a deep appreciation for what truly matters. I aspire for those who come after me, my children, grandchildren, and all who share in my journey, to learn not from the items I once possessed, but from the manner in which I chose to live. I have always believed that the true measure of a life well lived is found in the relationships we cultivate, the wisdom we impart, and the quiet strength that comes from living authentically. Material riches may fade over time, but the values of simplicity and contentment resonate far beyond the transient nature of possessions. My hope is that my legacy will serve as a guiding light, encouraging others to pursue a life of genuine fulfillment rather than one dictated by consumerist desires. I want those who follow in my footsteps to understand that happiness is not achieved through accumulating more, but by recognizing and cherishing the simple joys that make life meaningful. This commitment to a life of purpose, marked by clarity and restraint, is the legacy I wish to leave. A legacy that inspires future generations to seek peace, to value connection over consumption, and to live in harmony with their true selves. In reflecting on the legacy we build, it becomes clear that the choices we make today have the power to influence tomorrow. Our actions, small and large, create ripples that inspire change and foster a more compassionate world. May our legacy be defined by love, wisdom, and courage to live life with simplicity and grace. Prioritizing health and well-being is a cornerstone of the slow life, especially as we age. In a world that often emphasizes productivity and material success at the expense of personal care, it is easy to overlook the importance of nurturing our mental and physical health. Embracing a slower pace encourages us to create space for rest, self-care, and mindfulness. By intentionally slowing down, we afford ourselves the opportunity to truly listen to our bodies, recognizing when we need rest, physical activity, or nourishing food and positive experiences. This heightened awareness is one of the most valuable benefits of slow living, as it allows us to break free from the relentless pursuit of busy schedules and the accumulation of more possessions. Instead, we can focus on staying active, eating well, and maintaining a robust mental state. Many have found that this shift in priorities not only enhances overall well-being, but also deepens their connection with nature. Whether it is through regular walks in the park, gardening, or simply sitting outside to enjoy the fresh air, engaging with the natural world offers immense benefits. Research has consistently shown that spending time in nature reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and improves mental clarity. In the slow life, health is not treated as an afterthought, but as a fundamental priority. With less pressure to match the breakneck pace of modern life, we can invest more time in caring for ourselves, thereby enjoying a higher quality of life both now and in the years to come. In this way, slow living becomes not only a lifestyle choice, but also a commitment to long-term well-being, ensuring that our bodies and minds remain resilient as we navigate the journey of life. This commitment to self-care enriches our lives, enabling us to greet each day with vitality and optimism. Conclusion. The joy of slow living. Choosing to live a slow life, spending less, and finding peace and simplicity is not the easiest path, yet it remains one of the most rewarding. By stepping away from the relentless pressure to consume, we open ourselves to a world where the focus shifts to what truly matters: authentic relationships, meaningful experiences, and inner peace. For those of us in the later stages of life, this approach offers a valuable opportunity to reflect deeply on our priorities, allowing us to let go of superfluous attachments and embrace a sense of contentment and fulfillment that material possessions can never provide. The journey towards slow living is in many ways a courageous act of defiance against a society that values constant acquisition over genuine well-being. It requires a steadfast commitment to simplicity and a willingness to question long-held beliefs about success and happiness. As we distance ourselves from the consumerist mindset, we discover that our lives become richer, more balanced, and imbued with a quiet joy that comes from living in harmony with our values. Personally, I have experienced a profound transformation by choosing this path. I no longer measure my worth by the things I own, but rather by the quality of my interactions and the depth of my experiences. The moments I share with family and friends, the time I spend immersed in nature, and the quiet intervals of reflection have become the true treasures of my existence. These experiences have taught me that happiness is not a byproduct of acquisition, but a state of being that emerges when we prioritize what is truly essential. Moreover, slow living allows us to reclaim our time and redirect our energy toward pursuits that nourish our soul. It encourages us to slow down, to observe the beauty in the mundane, and to appreciate the fleeting moments that often pass unnoticed in a hurried world. In embracing this philosophy, we learn to celebrate the simple pleasures, Whether it is savoring a quiet cup of tea, engaging in heartfelt conversations, or simply enjoying the natural rhythms of life, this intentional lifestyle fosters a deeper connection with ourselves and with those around us, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and resilient way of being. I invite you to consider the possibility of a life where the race for material gain is replaced by a journey toward inner fulfillment, where every decision is guided by the desire to live authentically and with purpose. Your feedback on this journey is incredibly important. If these stories resonate with you and inspire you to embrace slow living, please indicate your support by commenting 1. If, however, you feel differently, a comment of 0 will also be appreciated, as every perspective contributes to a richer dialogue on what it means to live well. Thank you for taking the time to engage with these reflections. Your valuable time and thoughtful responses not only encourage me to continue sharing my experiences, but also help build a community of like-minded individuals dedicated to living with intention and grace. Let us continue to seek out the beauty and simplicity, to value quality over quantity, and to cherish every moment as an opportunity for growth and connection. In doing so, we contribute to a legacy of peace, contentment, and genuine joy that endures long into the future. May we always remember that the slow life is a deliberate choice. A choice to live more mindfully, love more deeply, and cherish every precious moment. In our journey, every step counts towards a brighter, more compassionate tomorrow. Let us embrace this path with unwavering hope,